Oh, so this is going to be interesting. I am on a Ducati DesertX, and we're going to go around the adventure track with Charley Boorman.
We're just here on the DesertX going off-road a little bit, which is always very nice. Love a bit of off-road. And we're up here in the Dundee, Ducati Dundee, and they've just opened up their second shop in Scotland, and it's a really nice place. Around here, my favourite bit, I love the track days, of course, but my favourite of all is off-road. Fart around the things here. A little bit of. It's an interesting bike because it kind of, I suppose, it's pulling its history from the Dakar Rally. There used to be a very famous Lucky Strike bike, which was a Cajiva that went through the Dakar Rally, and I think that it's taken inspiration from that. To build this bike, and it's a really capable, really nice bike off-road. I absolutely love it. I love it so much I bought one for myself.
What a bike!
I have to say it's a very nice bike. I was just chatting about it on the camera, but the way they've designed this bike, the history of it really, I think goes all the way back to the Dakar Rally, and I think I'm right in saying that when Ducati bought Cajiva, Cajiva had a white Lucky Strike.
Yes,
Dakar
I remember
bike,
the Lucky Strike.
and it was an incredibly famous bike.
You can
and
see it in the lines and the bodywork and the colour.
Yes, exactly, and it was a famous look. And then, so when they decided to do this, and what I really like about this is that they've made this bike very clean, and they've made this bike it has that slightly retro look, and
yeah,
there's not lots of bits of plastic hanging off it and stuff. It's very tall, thin, and it really reminds me of my Dakar bike. And then it's interesting when you take it. It's very capable on the road, but when you take it off road, and you see here, there's that little bit of where those rocks are, and you think, oh, that's going to be a bit slippy.
And
it handles it very nicely. You know?
It just took it. I mean, I have very limited. I've gone on gravel tracks. That's about as off-road as I've been, and I want to do more. I've gone and done. I went to Inch Perfect Trials just to practice around, just to get the hang of.
It's a good basis.
Yeah,
for off-road.
The technique and getting that sort of the movement of the bike, how it feels underneath you. But when I first looked down there, I thought, oh, that's a little bit intimidating. But it just does it so well.
It
and again,
it's
like
nice.
you said, that bit where it climbs up, goes over a little gnarly bit to the right, and it does it so well.
I know. But I'm sorry, I've been a bit of a pussy through the puddles. But I hate wet feet.
That's all right. That's all right. That's why I sort of changed out my trainers.
Right, let's have a few little laps.
Yeah. Shall we go for a couple more? So
Well, here we are with the DesertX, and we're here. It's kind of been a fun weekend really because we're up here in Dundee for the second shop of Scotland's Ducati enterprise.
Yes.
And they've done this sort of Sunday extravaganza at Knockhill Racetrack. So there's a bit of off-road, there's a bit of track. Carl Fogarty's here, Ruben's here. It's been quite. I'm here.
all
nice.
the best ones are here. Everyone that you'd want to be here is here. And again, we were up at Dundee yesterday for the grand opening of the second shop. Yep. And then we've come down here, like you said, today, Knockhill. And we managed to get around this adventure track that they set up for us. And I'd hate to say it, I've fallen in love with the DesertX. From your experience, I mean, what do you think? I mean,
yeah, no, I think I did a review of this bike a few months ago, and on my YouTube channel, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of the nicest bikes of this type I've ridden in maybe 10 years, and I think that they've done a really nice job. They've taken a little bit of the history of the Dakar Rally, and when Ducati bought Cagiva, there was a very famous bike, was a Lucky Strike bike that raced in the Dakar Rally.
I loved the Lucky Strike.
Yeah, it's very nice, and they've taken the spirit of that, and with the technology and the understanding of Ducati, they built this, and they've made a very nice retro bike that really seems to ride really well. And I know this is your first time going around the dirt here, so and it is very confidence inspiring.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, the guys here at Ducati have looked after us, and they said they've put it in full off-road mode for us, so we get to actually experience the bike as it should be for the off-road. And it was so much fun, and as much as it's so much fun, it was, like you said, confidence inspiring. It's the roughest track I've ever been around on, something with two wheels and an engine. Designed for the road, really. I can say I've done a couple of trials bikes, but this is something else. I mean, the fact that you can commute with it, go everywhere with it, and I can't fault it. I really can't.
Well, I think I mean, the big there's a reason why the adventure bike market is so important, and why Ducati have done this, because it's not just because they want to build this. It's because it's the best-selling market out of all the motorcycles. So if you can only have one motorcycle, an adventure bike, you have the BMW GS, you can have the 1200, the 850, or the 700 Tenere, or the 890 KTM. I mean, there's every single bike manufacturer has one, and to a degree, it's what you like and what you like the look of, because nobody. No manufacturer builds a bad bike anymore.
No,
and
just
so,
doesn't happen.
but having said that, I did the Dakar Rally in 2006. I was one of the last races in Africa. I think 2007 was the last one in Africa, and this reminds me very much of my Dakar bike. It's very tall, very thin, and it has that kind of more lighter flickability. What I've liked about this is that they've kept that kind of retro. They've kept that retro look and kept it quite clean and simple, which is what I like.
So I love doing miles on bikes. I love doing big miles. I've just done 2,000 miles around Spain and France literally last week. And when I was always looking at bikes, I always thought, right, if I'm doing big miles, I need a sports tourer. And I went off on adventures. Now I like to go wild camping. I like to go off into the wilderness. And I was taking a VFR 800, I was taking a CBF 1000, I was taking these sport tourer, caveat sport tourer bikes to places that they weren't designed to go. And I just looked at this picture and I was like, something's not right with this. I've got my tent, I've got my hammock, or I've got this. And then there's a sports looking bike in the picture, and I went, it's time for a change. And I went to an adventure bike. I went for the Africa Twin 18 months ago. And I'm already now looking at, what do I want to replace it with? What suits me? What suits my lifestyle? And as much as I love the Africa Twin, it's the adventure sport, so it's a big one with a big tank and everything. It's huge. I can barely filter with it. I may as well have a small car. And I'd be damned if it could get round that adventure track that we've just been on, where this is just taking it with it in its stride, with absolute ease. Yeah. And
Well, I think, look, I mean, I went around the world with Ewan on a GS 1150 adventure bike, huge thing. I mean, massive. So you can do it. And Nick Saunders went round on an R1 around the world. So I don't think really. I think any bike can do any job really,
Yeah.
and I think it's fine. But I think you know, it's choosing a motorcycle is as much as you walk along, you see a whole line of motorcycles, and you look at the one you like the look of the most, and that's good enough, because these days everybody builds a great bike these days. So,
Yeah.
but for sure, something like this is very nice.
It is, and I've already started looking at the fact that you can get the light guards, you can get the engine bars. I want the fog lights, and I want the panniers on the back. And
Oh, I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that.
That would do me
I just
to a
keep
T.
it nice and clean. I think if I was going camping, I'd just put a roll bag on the back and off I'd go. I think that's what I like about the simplicity of it. I really love that, and for me, to keep it as simple as possible would be lovely. The one thing I would do with this, which I've got on my one, I own one of these. I put the full race exhaust system on, and it makes a big difference.
This one's got the.
No, these have just got the standard.
This one's got the end can, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, the end can. But I mean, listen, I think anything is an improvement. But yeah, I think if you can push the boat out just that little bit more, I would go for the full exhaust system. It's very nice.
Definitely.
But and then you could do it through time. Buy it, ride it for a bit, and then feel like what you want to add to it, and do it nice and slowly. I'm not a fan of panniers really. I've never liked them.
I need the panniers, because I've obviously got a load of camera gear that needs to go with me wherever I go, and then I go camping and stuff. So I like the panniers. But little things like seeing this bike come from sort of the press release pictures right the way through, even to the point now where I'm seeing them in showrooms, I'm seeing them in front of us, and working with the Ducati Manchester group. I've been working with them for the last couple of weeks. The one thing I noticed was they're all coming with these Pirelli Scorpion Rally STR tires, and it was like, right, I need a set of them on my bike. Even if I'm not getting one yet, my bike that I've got at the moment is getting a set of these. I've got literally 3 weeks ago I changed over the tires just on the strength of, if Ducati say that tire's good enough for the DesertX, and I've been able to go around here as a complete novice and have that much confidence. It was the right choice in tyres, and I don't think I'll look back from that.
I mean, again, I think tyres, again, I mean, there's some really good ones. I've spent a long time on the TKC 80s and the Continentals, and they're an extremely good tyre as well. So I think it's, again, that's another real preference of what you like. If it was me, I'd probably put them onto TKC 80s, only because I've spent such a lot of time on them.
Yeah, and I get that. I went from the sports tourists, so I always had the Michelin Road 5s. They're just the best.
My race mechanic once told me, he said, Charlie, all you have to worry about is that they're black and round. Yeah. And that's all you have to worry about.
But I went through a little phase of the Anarchy Adventures just to stay with Michelin and stay with the compound that I had the confidence with. But it's been a no-brainer to switch. To switch to the Pirellis, just on the strength of what this bike's capable of with the right tyres, with everything it comes with.
Cool.
It's been so much fun today. It's been brilliant hanging around with you and
no
going around the track.
My pleasure. Well,
thank you for taking it slow enough for me to keep up with you.
Well, no. Well, listen, it was lovely. It's been great fun riding these bikes. It's great fun. And what's lovely is that there's a bike for everybody out there. And
That's it.
If it's not this, it's something else, or the Tenere, or the whatever you fancy. So that's what's nice.
Definitely, especially in that adventure market. I'm not saying it's saturated, but the choice
is saturated.
There.
Every single manufacturer has it.
I'll hold back a little bit.
And they've all got it. So it's.
If I say it's saturated, then they're bringing out the 24 models, and they're going to be the 25 models.
But that's the way it is.
That's the industry. It is.
The industry. You get the cars, the bikes. It's all the same. You know, everybody's trying to take a piece of, and as I say, this is why Ducati have brought this bike out, because they want a piece of that market.
Yeah.
And they're bringing. I'm guessing they're bringing out the 450 and the 250 enduro bike because they want to. They're dominating the rest of the market. So why not have a go at off road?
There they go. Dominating all the racing at the moment. Ducati is all over the place at the minute.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Brilliant.
See you later.
Cheers. Thank you for your time.
Beauty, mate.
It's been ace.
I've been fortunate enough to ride one of these DesertXs again. I love the bike so much that I actually bought one myself, and I love them. And the great thing is you can put loads of accessories on if you want to, and you can tart it up as much as you want, or just leave it like this. We have been fortunate enough to be up here in Knock Hill, and over there on the racetrack, Carl Fogarty and Ruben Zaus has been racing around the racetrack together. I've been out here riding on the dirt and really enjoying it, and it's been lovely to see the new shop in Dundee for Ducati opening. So they've got 2 shops now in Scotland, which is just fantastic. But anyway, just a quick thank you to everybody for letting me come up this weekend. And the best part of it for me, I know lots of people say the best part for them is the track, but for me it's always off-road. Anyway, see you guys later.